Oh, I was so excited, guys. It was like 3 days ago. And I get this article that Liver King wants to fight Joe Rogan. Now, somewhere within that, they broke fight down and kind of made it clear it was going to be a grappling match. He was up for anything. We can box, we can arm wrestle, but it's going to be you and me. Rogan versus Liver King. And I liked it. I liked it because I thought there was actually a little bit of possibility to it. And I realized the silliness factor. But you have to understand, if push comes to shove, Joe Rogan is going to be a handful for anybody. He's strong and he does MMA and he's got a black belt and he used to compete in Taekwondo, and there was a period of his life in 2005 where he thought he was actually going to get in the octagon and fight with Wesley Snipes. I mean, done a great job of keeping himself in shape. Not for nothing. For the moment that I see this, and I admit it was a little bit of a slow news day, but I thought, hey, there could be something to this. And some grappling, some way that they're going to sort this out. So, I don't have time to get to the studio. Make you guys a video on it. Liver King just challenged Joe Rogan. So I go on what the kids know as X, what I know as Twitter. And I put out, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you guys in a potential showdown between Liver King and Joe Rogan? And this thing bombs. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, you guys were writing in like 1, letting me know that you had no interest. And I thought, wow, I really missed the mark on that one. I thought there was something there. I would not have bet that you could ever actually get them to the surface or to the apparatus or to the mat, but that you might have a little something there. Now, this is a little bit of a tough spot. The Liver King gets on an airplane and he goes to find Joe Rogan. He wants to fight him, and therefore he's going to travel to him to pick this fight. That move has been done before, I understand, and that move has been duplicated and triplicated, and that move will be done in the future, and it will be done successfully in the future. You got to make sure that you understand the distinction by people that are in our industry. You must understand that. When one guy picks some heat with another guy, when Colby storms the casino, when these things happen, they're done by people in our industry as a way of bringing a level of promotion. More times than not, it ends up looking silly. Every now and then, it works. But they're by people in the industry. So when you have the Liver King, who has no competitive background in anything that he challenged Joe to. Liver King does not have a jiu-jitsu background. He does not have a kickboxing background. He does not have a boxing background. He does not have an MMA background. He is not licensed in any jurisdiction. So when he gets on an airplane and he travels out to Austin hunting down Joe Rogan, you now not only have a crime, or the potential for a crime, but you have the appearance for a psychological disorder. That I don't say lightheartedly, and that I don't tease him for. I would like him, we use this as an opportunity to maybe straighten that out, but there is a time in every bodybuilder's life. It is a true story, but it is a time in every bodybuilder's life, because that's a dedication, that's a sacrifice. Oh gosh, you're drinking this protein that tastes disgusting. Maybe you're one of those real weirdos that swallows eggs that are raw, and you're lifting the weights and you're grunting. But there's a time in your life, and you did all of these things to be a badass. You thought it would make you a badass. You thought, if I can do more bench press plates than that guy, I can beat that guy up. And there's a time in every bodybuilder's life when he realizes those skills that he worked and sacrificed an entire life for are realistically meaningless. Like there's not a real way, no matter how creative you were, that you're ever going to need to bench press something. It's just not realistic. And I'll tell you that as a fighter. As a fighter, it is not very realistic. It is less than 0.001 of the population that is ever going to have to actually use one of those skills that they sacrificed their entire life for. It is extremely rare that you will find yourself in a fist fight, in an unarmed combative situation, but it is 10 times more likely you will find yourself in an unarmed combative situation than it is a situation where you need to be stronger than the other guy. And I tell you this because when we're looking at the psychological side of it, it's one of the things that does drive those guys crazy. It is one of those things where their whole life they were treated a certain way. If you're stronger than somebody, if you look stronger than other people, if you have a way to go in and all you got to do is walk into the gym, jump up on the pull-up bar and do about 20 pull-ups, the whole gym will see it and go, wow, he's stronger than me. Like there is a level of respect and street cred that you will get until you run into somebody that's actually used to whipping another man's ass. That dude's not going to give you any street cred. He's going to look at you and think, how was the life that you wasted to get those biceps? That's just the way that goes. And I'm sharing something very honest with you because the Liver King was greatly embraced by our industry. I thought from a marketing standpoint, the Liver King was going to make it through. I thought he was going to bounce back, and he did so many steps right. He got off the steroids and he cleaned up, and that was his first mistake. He never should have gotten off the steroids. He gets off the steroids and his whole body plummets, and it sinks everything that he's ever hung his hat on. And he should have just come out and said testosterone is the foundation. The 7 tenets, and I got Mark Coleman screaming for me, and keep booze out of your life, and exercise, and eat natural, and get plenty of sunlight, and sleep is your friend. Like he could have ran with all this. He just needed to cop to the world. The foundation is testosterone, which, by the way, is completely legal. This is what he needed to do, and it was the one mistake that he made. And I only share that with you because I understand the Liver King was just trying to get his name out there, and there's few ways better to do it than aligning with Joe Rogan. But the Liver King knows enough people. He would know enough people to know how to get a hold of Joe Rogan. The Liver King would know enough people like me that he could contact that would make that ask on his behalf. Hey man, we have Liver King on. It's a quick text. And the reason I tell you that, guys, is because I guarantee the Liver King did that times 20. And we have our answer, which is no. Joe didn't want to sit and talk to him for a few hours. No, Joe did not find him interesting. No, Joe did not want to have him as a guest. Liver King did not leap to the conclusion of I'm going to grab my camera equipment and my producer and jump on an airplane and I'm going to go get in a fist fight with an extremely well-known person. All right, I mean, the same way that I tell you that the Liver King would know somebody that could ask and could get him on the show, Joe Rogan knows somebody that could get them both into the UFC named Dana White. Like, the same way that Liver King's favorite didn't get called in is the same way that Joe Rogan's favorite of Dana White didn't call in because he just had no interest in him. And so now it's a very different thing. When Liver King is challenging you to a fight, you have to take people at their word. And I've had this tested on all levels, believe me. But I know about fighting the same thing as you do, which is whatever your father told you. My father never said, oh, you can defend yourself, son. Just make sure they throw the first punch. My father's rule was keep them back. Don't let anybody that's talking about wanting to fight you get within an arm's reach. If they're within an arm's reach, the fight has now begun. Keep them back. Don't let them get close. So now you got a half a country between these two guys. You're Joe Rogan. You're minding your own business. You're got your life going. You got a family. And you read that you're being challenged to a fight. Okay. Fair enough. At one point in your life, you would have even thought that was cool. At one point in your life, you'd have probably wanted to do it. But things start to change a little bit when you're getting challenged to a fight by a guy that doesn't have any money. He doesn't have a promoter. He doesn't have a license. He doesn't have anything to do with our industry. Now, all of a sudden, it got a little bit weird. Now, the one protection that you had, which is a half a country, that got taken away. And now you're coming back to Chael Sonnen's father's rule. You're letting somebody get close. You just let somebody get 8 states closer to you than they were yesterday. It changes things. So you get information. You get a guy in the Liver King's case. It's telegraphing everything he's doing. And it's largely because of this telegraphing that I do give Liver King some slack. It appears that he was out trying to do some media. It just appears that he backfired and did that media. But when he got in an airplane and he went out to challenge, or when he went out to fight Joe Rogan, who he'd already publicly challenged, Joe Rogan has the right to a response. And if Joe Rogan's response to that is to inform the authorities, hey, I've been challenged by this guy who, by the way, is now trying to find me. He's come to my state, he's rented a car, and he's driving around asking people, do you know where Joe Rogan is? Like, there's times when you have to report that. And that's where this whole thing got really weird. And I see it often. I see it very often where people, even fans of the industry, do get confused that they're not in the industry. It's a small group. It's tight. There's certain things that are required. It takes an immense amount of balls to wait to an agreed upon time, at an agreed upon weight class, at an agreed upon location with an agreed upon opponent. It is literally what separates fighters. People ask me that all the time. What separates the fighters and what makes them different? It's that. It's not knowing how to fight or being willing to take a punch or being able to throw a punch. The difference is being able to wait until an agreed upon time. If you took spontaneity and you put that into the sport, it changes everything. If I jump out of the car right now and me and this guy get in a fight, it changes everything. It's spontaneous. That's easy. It's the waiting that's hard. It's the working your way up that's hard. It's the licensing that's hard. It's getting people to be interested that's hard. Liver King literally tried to skip the line, do away with every single part of our industry that's difficult, and then get the reward, which is the attention. And Liver King is finding out now that when you do that for attention, you look like a fool.